Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome viewers on another lesson on MTA Mathematics, where mathematics is made easy for the students. The other day, we started with the test of practical or the practical application on sets, which is the same two sets problem, and others also call it the Venn diagram. I promise you that the question which we used as the assignment, we will start with that one, then we will take another question, and if time will permit us, we'll take more, then we can move on to the type 2. So for the right type of question, this is what we had. We said in a class of 50 students, 25 study English and 35 study history. If each student studies at least one of the subjects, I illustrate the information on a Venn diagram. I find the number of students who study both subjects, and students studying only English. Now, such questions, let me teach you a trick. Before you even start, you should know your answers. Now, always add the individual numbers in the question. When you add compared to your total, the difference becomes the point of intersection. That is the number of students studying both subjects. I guess I'm okay. I said add the individual numbers for the subject, studying the subject. If there is any which is not studying any of the two subjects, also add, compare it to the total number of students, strike the difference, and that is students studying both subjects. So before we even start this, let's add, we have 35 plus 25. And that gives us what? 60. The difference between 60 and 50 is what? 10. So here, the point of intersection, that is defining the number of students who study both, is 10. So already, you know the answer in your head. But how to produce the 10 is what we are going to look at now. But since you have also the 10 in your head, doesn't mean that you can solve anything, then you write 10 for the examiner to mark you. No. We'll look at the steps you took into getting the 10, and if it is right, we give you correct. If not, it is wrong. Okay. So let's tackle it. Solution. Now we need to put these commodities into individual set notations, and that is what we're going to use. When we take the universal set, that is the total number of sets, we said let U represent total number of students. Therefore, N of U is 50. Then you take the first commodity in the question, that is English. We always select the first letter and use a capital letter. As we said, set is denoted by a capital letter. So looking at English, the first is E. So the same way we should say let E represent students studying English. So therefore, N of E is what? 25. So the next one is history. So let H represent students studying history. Therefore, N of H is 35. So let X, normally we mathematicians, we like X, but it can be A, it can be B, it can be any letter, but normally we like X. So we should let X, that is the number of students studying both, we don't know. So we should let X represent students studying both subjects. I think looking at it, that's all the commodities in the question. So after putting them into set notation form, you can now tackle the question by using the Venn diagram. We know that it is a rectangle with two circles in it. These two circles might not cross according to the question given. But where they ask you to look for the both, then it means that the two circles should cross. The two circles should cross. Okay, so you get your ruler, then you draw your Venn diagram, your rectangle. Your rectangle. Then for your circle purposes, we tell students to get coins, money, coins, or any object which is in a circular form, so that, or the compass. The compass is okay. But normally the compass, sometimes it wastes time. So if you have a coin or any object, you can send it to BEC, WASI, it will be accepted. Except that you cannot put any apple or you write something on it which will help you in the exams. So any circular object, normally coins is okay. Or if you don't have, the compass is there for you. So you draw a circle. Since we have a point of intersection, the two circles cross. Okay. So N of U comes here. That is the total number of students. Where the cross is the point of intersection, that is X. So you put them there. The first commodity, which is N of E, that is 25. You put it here. N of H, you put it here. Okay. Now, everything added in this Venn diagram, everything added in this box, it should be equal to 50. But when we want to look for English, this part, which is English only, the full circle is English. This part without the X is English only. If you want to look for English only, what we do is that we subtract the X from the 25. So here becomes 25 minus X. Then here also, if you want to look for history only, it becomes 35. Then you subtract the X minus X. Are we there? So where you finish writing all this, then you need to solve. So represent this on the Venn diagram is what you've done now. Say find the number of students who study both subjects, that is X. So we are moving on to the II. We are finding X. So what I said, we'll add everything in the circle, which should be equal to what? 50. So we have 25 minus X, then plus the point of intersection, X, then plus 35 minus X should be equal to 50. Okay. Before we solve, we did the calculations and we said the answer was what? 10. So this should produce 10. If it's not producing 10, it means you are wrong. Okay. So if I have X minus X plus X, it will cancel itself. I'm owing 1, I go and pay 1, 0. Cancel itself. So we have what? 25 plus 35 minus what? X is equal to what? 50. Okay, let's add this to, we have 60 minus X is equal to what? 50. Now we group like terms. The number should cross to the other side, leaving the letter. That is what we mean by grouping of like terms. So the letter, mind you, the negatives affecting this letter. So we have neg X is equal to, landlord should be here, then the 60 cross. You find out that students, because this is bigger than this, they'll bring the 60 first, then they'll subtract the 50. It is wrong. The landlord here should stay, then this tenant will come. But when the tenant is positive and it crosses, it becomes negative. And when it's negative and it crosses, it becomes what? Positive. Here it is positive, so when it crosses, it becomes negative. So minus 60, then we have neg X is equal to, so 50 minus 60. You are subtracting more from what? Less. So you get what? Negative answer. So we have neg 10. Or you are owing 60, you pay 50. Do you still owe? Yes. And it becomes what? Negative. So since we have negative X and negative 10, what do we do? The coefficient of X is 1. So here it becomes negative 1. So you divide through by the coefficient, which is what? -1. So negative cancels negative, negative cancels negative, and our x is equal to what? 10. So therefore, 10 students study both subjects. Okay, are we there? So you can see that the 10 which was calculated before solving, we've been able to get here. But where when you get here and you change it, you bring the 60 first, the 50 first, you see that the 10 will be positive, this will be negative. At the end of the day, you cancel out and you are going to get -10. And there is no human being which is negative. Okay, so let's move on to the next, which is III. So III is asking us to look for only English, students studying only English. So only English students will be equal to, so when we come to the diagram, what I said was that this portion without the x is the only English. So the portion without the x is what? 25 minus x. So we have 25 minus x. But our x is now what? 10. So we have what? 25 minus 10. And we have what? 15. So since we've written only English students, there's nothing to be written like this again. Or if you write it also, there is no problem. And so we have 15 students studying only what? English. So therefore, when we want to look for the only history also, we just subtract 10 from that. Then we get what? 25. That is only history. Okay, there will be a point whereby another question. So let's take a clue. Then we use the same question to also solve another one. Let's take a clue. Maybe let's take MB. Let's say this was part of the question. If 8 students study any of the two subjects. So this also will change the calculations. This also will change the calculation. So it will be, sometimes that's how it will be. Some of the question too, this can be part of this question. So when this happens, this 8 will be put in here. Will be put here. That is outside the two circles. It doesn't form part of them. So once again, when we are going to solve, the 8 should form part of your solution, which will change this answer. So you add everything, add 8 to it, which should be equal to what? 50. So let's see how that one also works. So let's take the MB part. So that one will be 25 minus x plus 35 minus x. Then we add the 8. So plus 8 is equal to what? 50. So once again, this goes away. Then we have what? 35, 25 plus 35, then minus x plus 8 is equal to 50. 25 plus 35, 60 plus this, we have 68 minus x is equal to 50. So neg x is equal to 50 minus 68. So my neg x is equal to neg 18. So neg x divided through by neg 1, neg 18 divided through by neg 1. Then my x is equal to 18. So you see, so where there is a this portion inclusive here and you forget to add it, it will change everything that you might get wrong. I guess we are okay. So let's take a question. So let's say this example 2. In a village, of 225 farmers, 100 grow cassava. And 128 grow plantain. If 15 farmers do not grow either plantain or cassava, find the number Okay, so this can be another question. In a village of 225 farmers, 100 grew cassava and 128 grew plantain. If 15 farmers do not grow either plantain or cassava, find the number of farmers that grew both crops. So you could see that this question also, in the question, they didn't put it like this. Illustrate the formation of Venn diagram. Find the number of students who study this, or find the number of farmers who grow both. Even though you have not been asked to represent it on a Venn diagram, you could do that to help you solve such a question. You could do that to help you solve such a question. So once again, as I said, the rough tactics you must do to know your answer first before you solve. So when I add this to this, I get 128 plus 10, 138, then plus 5, 143. 243. So if I compare 243 to 225, my difference will be, I think 18. The difference will be 18. My difference is 18. So before I solve, I know that my answer should be 18. That is the farmers growing both crops. Okay. So as I said, we need to write the let you represent this. Please write them, but because time is fast spent, I'm going to ignore that one and put them into the set notation straight away. So I write my let you represent the total number of farmers in the village. Then therefore, n of what? U is equal to 225. Then I choose the first one, cassava. I choose capital C. So let C represent the total number of cassava, farmers growing cassava. And that one is what? 100. Then plantain, capital P. That one to let capital P represent farmers growing plantain. And therefore, my N of P is what? 128. Okay. Then 15 farmers which do not grow any of the two crops. So let's say N of P intersection C or complement does not belong to both. We have 15. Or complement does not belong. We have 15. Then we have N of P intersection C or the same C intersection P, cassava and plantain is what? X. C, P. So we have this. Okay. So now, as we said, if we put them into the Venn diagram form, since there is a point of intersection, I have my two circles drawn. I have my N of C here, which is 100. Here is X. N of P, which is 128. And my here is 15. My N of U, which is 225. Okay, so what we said that when we want to solve, we always subtract the x from this. That is 100 minus x, and here will be 128 minus what? X. So let's solve. We have 100 minus x plus 128 minus x plus 15 is equal to 225. Okay, so I owe, I pay. It goes away. This 100 plus 128, you can group all items. You can bring the 15 plus 15 minus x is equal to 225. So I add this, I get 228. I add 15, 38. I add 243 minus x is equal to 225. So minus x is equal to what? 225 minus 243. So minus x is equal to neg 18. Then neg x divided through by neg 1. Neg 18 divided through by neg 1. Then my x will be equal to what? 18. So therefore, 18 farmers grows both crops. I guess we're okay. Now let's recap a little. So as I said, with the raw type of questions, always remember that we always subtract the point of intersection, that is x, from its total before we put them here. When there is any students or farmers or any commodity which does not belong to the two circles, you put them here. But you make sure that whatever you do here, all additions you do here should be equal to this. Then you solve and get your final answer. Let me give you a trick. After solving with your only type of question, you add the only, then here and the only and here, and you don't get this, then it means your solving is wrong. So let's try that one and see. 100 minus 18, we get 82. Then here is 18. Then 18 minus 128, we get 110. Okay, so this 82 plus 18 plus 110 plus 15, we should get 225. So when we don't get 225, then it means that your solving is wrong. So let's try it and see. 110 plus 82 plus 18 plus what? 15. Let's add. 2 plus 8, 10 plus 5, 15. Carry 1. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 8, 10, 11, 12. Then 1 plus 1, 2. So you could see we've gotten 225. So after solving and you do your subtractions and you add your individual elements or numbers and you don't get your total, then it means that whatever you've done in your calculations is wrong. So you might visit the question back, you check, you might leave out this, or you check maybe additions you were doing, you flipped. So you need to go back and do your changes, then you solve again to get the final answer. Remember, you need to write, tell the examiner, let U represent the total number of people, or total number of farmers, total number of animals, anything. Then you can write it in the notation form. Therefore, N of U is 225. Because of time, that's what I told you. That I'm skipping the let U represent, then I put them to the notation forms straight away. Then you always choose the first letter of the commodity to represent it in a capital letter. Then you put them down. Then after that, you put them into your Venn diagram, even though this question didn't ask us to fix it in the Venn diagram. But we used Venn diagram, which helped us to solve it easily. Students, all too soon, this is where time will permit us to solve up to. Let's meet once again in another lesson to make maths easier for you. This is MTA Mathematics. We'll meet again in another lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.